And here in the bottom left-hand corner of Daybreak, we have our blue Protoss player, the first non-Zerg representative of Team StarTale.Life. It is Inori. His opponent here in the upper right-hand corner has won 3 games in a row. He is from StarTale. He's a GSL finalist, may even be a GSL champion soon. It is Life.
All right, yeah, and we're going to find out next week, I believe. October 20th is the scheduled date, but I believe that's Korean time, so I guess October 19th for us Americans. Either way, going to be finding out soon who our newest and perhaps newest repeating GSL Codes champion will be.
Could be MVP again.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Life. Life is an amazing player, but MVP just likes to win GSLs. It's kind of what he does. It's what he's known for.
Yeah, it's kind of his thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, like Nesty and MC have both shown that they're able to get back up to that point, but MVP just makes a habit of it. And MC, the last time he came up, just didn't finish the job. So,
nope.
You know, MVP tends to win when he gets to the finals. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see soon.
Okay, well, Inori, he's obviously going to go for some sort of a Forge Fast expand, whether, of course, that's going to be Nexus before Forge, or the other way around, we'll have yet to see, although most of the time players are going for it's actually going to be Hatch first out of Life. Most players are going for Nexus first on this map, and I think that's what Life is reacting to, as this is a little bit riskier. For those of you who may be watching StarCraft for the first time or are pretty new to it, the reason why that strategy is a little bit riskier is because if a Forge goes down first, that allows the Protoss player to build cannons, and they can drop a pylon behind the mineral line here, put some cannons in place in that spawning pool, which allows the production of Zerglings. It's going to take so long to be able to react to it, you may end up losing a base. So.
Yeah, and another kind of tricky thing for PvZ that we're not seeing here is that usually the Protoss player will send their probe all the way over to their opponent's base to build a pylon very quickly and block that hatchery. So things have kind of progressed to the point where Zerg players like to build the spawning pool first no matter what, just to get a couple of Zerglings out and deal with a pylon block. They also sometimes will take that third base very, very quickly, and I'm curious, is that a drone actually moving down for Life already? Yes, it is. Daybreak. It's just expected, really, on Daybreak at this point for a Zerg player to get to 3 really, really quickly like this.
Yeah, but I mean, this is obviously a little bit different order, and it is reacting to the Forge first. I'm sorry, the Forge second, after the Nexus, I should say. Photon Cannon coming up now just to make sure he's going to remain extra safe, and this is when Inori decides to scout. And I think he's going to be, well, a little bit unhappy. Especially if he gets down here and sees the time that this third base was put up. That's a big thing, because normally it would be about now when a third base would go down. But Inori's not going to pick up on that at all.
Yeah, that's interesting. Inori playing blind Protoss style.
He does that.
He must have something prepared where, you know, it doesn't matter how many bases he's on, as long as he can keep his build order tight. Maybe that last probe getting some minerals back in is an important part of it. He just checked that Zone Tower to make sure no lings were running right at his face, because that could be dangerous. But because he didn't see anything unusual up to this point as far as being killed, he's taken his time actually scouting everything out.
Okay, well, he'll get a pretty good look at his opponent's base here in just a second. And like I said, it looks like he's still going to scout this at a time when he'll know the timing of it, because if he had come in here about 15 seconds later, that would have been pretty bad for him. But now he sees the base is already done, and that is a little bit early, and we'll see if he shifts his strategy in response.
All right, so Life has just been droning up to this point, getting a couple of queens out. At the moment, still has not built any Zerglings, so he's feeling pretty good with his map control at the moment. Just a couple of overlords scattered about. It looks like a Twilight Council is coming up very quickly for Inori. Could be DTs. I didn't actually take note of his gas timings to get started, but he's got about 100 at the moment. No third and fourth gas, so it could just be full-on Blinkstalkers as well.
And now Life actually double gassed pretty early, so if we're taking 3 quicker bases than normal, when you do a conventional pool then hatch strategy, usually you'll build up to about 35 drones or so before you end up going into any sort of gas, and then you'll wait a little bit longer, then you'll see a couple of things afterwards. He decided to take his gas a bit earlier, invest in that Zergling speed. He's still apparently going to build up to a decent drone count to about 45 or so, or at least in the 40s before he puts down his other structures.
Dark Shrine coming up for Inori. He did get up up to 250 gas pretty quickly off of the 2 that he made, and he did actually just make another assimilator at his natural, so he will be able to afford it briefly at least. It looks like, though, he does not have Warp Gate Tech finished. He does not have a robotics facility to do any Warp Prism play, so I'm really curious what he's got in store. He's sending a probe around the top, it looks like, to drop some forward pylons, though.
Yeah, and that's going to be a good decision. Now, Life, on the other hand, has an evolution chamber already in place. He's got +1 on the way. Even though he doesn't have layer tech quite yet, he will be able to pretty flexibly move into some sort of spore crawler coverage.
He's also, Inori has a third base coming up, so he's actually going to try and keep up economically with Life, which could be a challenge. We'll see if the Dark Templar actually are going to be able to equalize things and get a lot of drone kills, or what is Life actually doing, just making a bunch of lings at the moment, +1/+1, and speed on the way as well. 20 lings in production, so Life is going for a big round of attack here.
And at the same time, what did he actually pick up on? Because he's got spore crawlers on the way. I guess he's guarding against common, you know,
air or DTs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but that's going to end up working beautifully for him.
That's right. Once these DTs get in, and there will be visibility there already. Actually, seeing this warping and perhaps already seeing the glimmer as well.
He's got it.
Yeah, he's going to jump right on those DTs. He saw the little glimmer that cloaked units actually give off. And is it going to get venture enough? Yeah, it's going to get close enough to that spore crawler to actually be detected. It looks like he did find a little bit of a safe corner, but this DT is not long for this world. That did not really work out too great for Inori. The main, I'm not sure if it has a spore crawler. Oh, he's trying to take out the evolution chamber, which could be a good target if he manages to kill it before +1 armor finishes.
The spore crawler's getting in position, though, and the lings are actually going to move up and surround, and bye-bye Dark Templar. That goes down.
All right, so Life dealing with the DTs very, very easily, very well. The lair is going to be done here as well, so he can get some overseers out and about. Inori at this third base looks like he wants to eventually make that a full wall, but just 3 sentries and a single Dark Templar on the field for Inori. If Life wants to attack, now could be a good time. He is actually going to get a Spire up as well.
And Life loves his Mutalisk play against Protoss players. He adores it, everything about it. And so we do, in fact, see 3 base Spire coming up along with all of those Zerglings that are already on the map.
All right, no detection over on this side of the map for Life, though, so he is actually going to just try and get away from that DT. The force fields do not work. As all the lings just stream right back through there. He might try to bait a couple more force fields. Actually, didn't even need to bait anything. This is the slipperiest Zerglings ever. And the sentries don't have energy. Oh my goodness, they're going to get taken out really easily, and the lings will be able to escape from these zealots because of their speed.
And yeah, the rest of these units are taking quite a bit of damage. That's pretty much a full surround there.
There's the Overseer too.
Yep, he's overhead, so the Dark Templar's going to fall as well. This is just not working out for Inori at all. We haven't even had to have any Mutalisks put on the field, and there's still enough resources that there's going to be about 10 of them made at the same time.
It looks like actually Life just ran in and hit hold position on his lings so that he could kill those probes without actually defaulting back over to the zealots. And he's still got more lings coming over. Life is actually being a bit cheeky and building a hatch way over here just so he can reinforce faster. Kind of interesting. 10 Mutalisks in production, 11 mutas now for Life, and soon he'll be able to make even more.
All right, well, and yeah, those are going to be the first ones on the field. Surprised that there's no upgrades coming up, that he didn't dedicate a little bit of resources. There we go. +1 attacks is now on the way, but man, things are pretty grim for Inori. He needs a really great defense.
Right, and with the very few units that he has, it's going to be pretty difficult. Just a Ling Muta, actually, for Life could be pretty devastating. He's actually sending them, that's from all different bases, just Mutas all over the map, converging at the same point here overhead of those Speedlings. And Inori, what's he got? A handful of Zealots, a handful of Stalkers with Blink, and that Immortal. Immortal not going to be the most valuable unit here, as it cannot shoot the Mutalisk and has very low single target DPS against those Lings, but the Zealots deal with the Lings pretty handily. The Mutas obviously are not going to be scared of DTs. They only really have to worry about these Stalkers and any sentries that come out, and they actually get some free shots on the Stalkers as they warp in.
Yes, they do, and they're actually able to pick one of those off. And really, in Life, his plan now is just to keep his opponent pinned into 3 bases. bases. He wants to keep poking in and doing economic damage. He wants to keep spreading across the map. He's got his 5th base coming up at the same time. He's already started saturating this one on his opponent's side, and he wants to starve his opponent out. Inori needs to be able to deal with these very quickly and very cost efficiently.
All right, and if he can't do it, obviously, Life is going to put StarTale in an even better chance to win this series. Look at that Psystorm actually researching now. We've got more Protoss ground weapons, 2 more gateways being added on. Life does have that hatchery established above Inori, though, and that can be a really fast way to reinforce during this fight. But I don't know, the Lings might not have the staying power here for much longer. He is actually going to add on that Baneling nest now, though, and if he morphs a lot of Banelings, you have 15 in production now. That could certainly help.
Yeah, but he just wants to draw units out of position, then run by with Lings. I mean, that's all that matters to him. I mean, he can trade really cost inefficiently right now and still be in a decent spot. Now, he can't do it all day. He can't do it for multiple attacks, but, you know, if he would run units up, destroy a little bit of production, then just kind of keep on the gas pedal, I mean, that's kind of what he wants to do.
All right, so he's going to get the Stalkers first. The Immortals out and about. They did not blink far enough back, and the Banelings still were able to connect. Looks like Speedlings are trying to deal with the Stalkers. There's not much anti-air here, though, for the Mutalisks. They're actually going to try and focus down any anti-air that they see. The Archon obviously is a great choice, and now there's just a handful of Stalkers left. Life looks in a good position to take another game for StarTale.
Oh, yes, he does. And Inori, unfortunately, is under 100 supply, continues to fall down. He's pulling back to a better defensive position with more photon cannons, but now his opponent is just everywhere on the map, and now this base is essentially forfeit.
Right, and only a handful of Stalkers even remaining for this number of Mutalisks is not going to last long. GG from Inori, and StarTale.Life up on a 4-0 lead on TSL. This is what we like to call all-kill territory.
Yeah.
And TSL only has a couple of options. They do have those Zergs that I mentioned earlier, Shine and Ragnarok.
Yes.
Probably don't want to use them when you have Polt on the team, though.
That's right. And it is, in fact, going to be Polt.
Shine.
Polt will be the final member for TSL, and he has his work cut out for him. He's got to reverse all kill Team StarTale, and that's the tallest of orders.
Yeah, that is actually the tallest of orders, and you know, it's actually not so bad to have to reverse all kill a team, because, you know, sometimes, you know, you see it happen every once in a blue moon, but it's really hard to reverse all kill a team that has such high caliber talent. Life sitting in the GSL Coda semi-final or finals actually now. Parting is still available.
Yeah.
Squirtle is still available.
Yeah.
Bomber is still available.
Yeah.
That's just three other people on their roster. I'm sure there's more that I'm forgetting immediately, but man, that's a tall order, just defeating any one of them in a best of one. So he's gonna have to do it all. Let's see if Polt's got it, what it takes. Let's go to a break now, and on the other side, we'll get started with Game 5.